people who have traveled the entire world are, without exception, very interesting persons. What they have in common is that they have an ambitious dream and they will do anything to achieve it. They are people just like you and me who don't usually come from very wealthy backgrounds. To inspire you with their stories and to show that you can do it too, we've listed 7 of them in this video. Lexi Alford has proven that nothing is impossible if you have a dream and a strong drive to pursue it. She has traveled to every country in the world at the very young age of 21. It gave her the official Guinness World Record of youngest person ever to travel to all sovereign countries. Traveling was instilled into Lexi when she was just a little girl. Her parents ran a travel agency and they took her along whenever they were traveling as she was growing up. She became accustomed to a life on the road very early in life. When she realized that she had 6 years left to break the record for being the youngest person ever to travel the entire world, an ambitious goal was set. Her passion was so strong that she worked several jobs starting at the age of 12 and she didn't waste any of her money on material possessions. All of her travels have been funded by herself and she's shown that you don't have to be a millionaire to live out your wildest dreams at a young age. Not only has Graham Hughes been to every country in the world, he did it all without flying. It took him slightly over 4 years in which he experienced more adventure than most people would in their entire life. He was imprisoned in Congo, arrested in Cameroon and Estonia and got caught trying to sneak into Russia illegally. Graham recorded his journey, which was later turned into a television series called Graham's World. Being the interesting man that he is, he bought an island in Panama with prize money that he won from the TV show SOS Island. He lived a quiet and secluded life on Jinja Island for 3 years, while reminiscing about his travel adventures of the past. Taylor Brun has traveled to every country in the world, faster than anyone else before her. Her world trip took 1 year and 189 days to complete. At the time, she was also the youngest person to ever visit all of the world's countries. She was only 24 years old when she ticked off the 196th country from her list. After graduating, she felt like the corporate life could wait and she followed her love for travel. She already traveled to 20 countries at the time and this motivated her to go all in on her passion. After hearing about another woman setting the Guinness World Record for traveling around the world, she packed her bags and went for it. Taylor used a bunch of travel hacks to travel on the cheap and did it all without financial help from her parents, or anyone else for that matter. The entire trip cost her $70,000. Sala Lavallo is among the youngest people to visit every single country in the world. He was 27 years old when he ticked off the final country on his travel bucket list. His education and later his job as a management consultant has led him to travel a lot and explore different countries. Hungry for more, he took a year off from work to focus completely on traveling. After this year, he was so eager to visit every country in the world that he traveled for another year to complete his journey. The most important lesson he learned is that we should focus on similarities between the people that we meet instead of the differences. His goal is to leave the places he visits and the people he meets a little bit better than when he arrived. Binsky got his first taste of traveling when he moved to a new school on the other side of the United States. He then jumped on the opportunity to move to the Czech Republic to study. This became the headquarters for his trips through Europe, which was ideal because the Czech Republic is very centrally located in Europe. Like so many other dedicated travelers, he felt like he wasn't yet ready to get a full-time job after he graduated. He felt like there was more to discover and he wanted to build a career around his lifestyle instead of building his lifestyle around his career. By making YouTube videos about his travel adventures, he managed to make a living from his passion. After 10 years of traveling, he eventually visited every country in the world in October of 2021. Podale is currently 85 years old and can tell you endless stories about his very diverse and interesting life during which he traveled to every country in the world. He worked as an editor for Playboy at some point and wrote articles for men's magazines too. He also directed and produced documentaries, worked as an attorney, advertising manager and as a director of legislative operations for the Citizens Union in Albany at one point. He started a stamp collection at age 6 and wanted to have a stamp from every country in the world. The stamps got him interested in all of the countries and made him want to travel there. All of his traveling eventually resulted in him visiting every country in the world by the age of 75. It took him 5 decades to achieve this feat, and he became the first American on record to travel every country in the world in 2012. As cool as it is to travel the entire world, for some people this still isn't enough adventure. Gunnar Garfurs has visited every country in the world, twice. He also was the first person to visit 5 continents in a single day. Needless to say, this guy loves to travel. Despite his extraordinary accomplishments, he's just a normal guy in his daily life. He's not particularly rich and works a regular job. He's employed at the Norwegian Broadcasting Company and is very picky on the things he spends money on. He doesn't have a car and doesn't really splurge money on the things most people would. All of his money is used to live a traveling lifestyle. Gunnar works a job that requires him to travel, so he just takes a few days off when he's done his job in that country to explore by himself. He often takes 2 days off work to spend a long weekend in an exotic location. This way, he gets the most out of his 7 weeks paid time off every year.
Subscribe to Crazy Travel Destinations for more content.